Hey guys, Swanny here. Welcome back to X-Plane 10. Today we're looking at the SSG E-170 Evolution. That's Super Critical Simulations Group. You can find this plane over on the xplane.org store. I picked this up during the Black Friday sale. I've only flown it once so far. This is actually my second flight with it, so if there's any mistakes or something I don't do right, bear with me, and maybe you guys can give me some insight if I do something wrong. Anyway, we'll do the best we can. We're going to be flying from O Hare International, which is over in Chicago, over to Minneapolis, St. Paul, over in Minnesota. And without further ado, let's go ahead and jump up in the cockpit and we'll get this thing going. All right. So the first thing we need to do is we'll go up to this overhead panel and we'll go ahead and switch on the GPU since we got that plugged in. This plane's pretty simple to get started. There's not really much to do. It's kind of already all set up for you for the most part. It's mostly all automatic stuff, so this should go pretty quickly. We'll just go ahead and throw the batteries on auto, and we'll leave all this stuff the same. We can go ahead and arm the emergency lights. Let's get rid of this beep in here. There we go. All right, so we'll go ahead and throw on all these. No smoking, fasten seat belts. We'll leave the APU off for now. We're not going to start that up till right before we get to pushback. So we'll leave that off. Go ahead and put the nav light on. Lets people know that we're up in here and we're working on the plane. Logo light's fine for now. The rest of this stuff can stay off. Electrical pumps can go on. This one's already on auto. That's all good. Like I said, this is all already set up on this right panel. There's nothing we need to do on that. So overhead panel's pretty much good to go. Pretty simple, right? All right, so the IRS is going to be aligning for a little bit, so we'll go ahead and get this stuff set up down here. This MCDU is a little bit tricky. It's a little bit different than a Boeing or an Airbus. But if you do get this plane, make sure you read the manual. It does tell you kind of how to do it step by step, so it's pretty good with that. So anyway, we'll go to this. You can see this is all the identification stuff, and then we'll go to the init page so we can tell where we are. We're going to be KORD. Stick that there. All right, and then we can go to the route page. So we're going to, like I said, Minneapolis, St. Paul, which is KMSP, I believe. Stick that there. Activate that. Now we can go to the next page. And we'll start plugging in our waypoints. So we're going to be going pumpkin, stick that there, to Neato, which is Neato, to Dillon, Dllan, Ronick, RONIC, oops, C, and then Kama, so the next page. Like so, and that's all of our waypoints. Now we just got to do, there actually is no departure out of Chicago. We're just going straight to Pumpkin. But for the arrival, well, I guess we have to punch the runway in anyway, so we'll go to the nav page now. Departure. We're going off of 3-1 left. So I'm going to click that. Go back to the nav page. Go to the arrival page. We'll be coming in on the 1-2 left, so we'll go ILS 1-2 left. Our approach today is the Muscle 2 arrival with the Kama transition. Go ahead and hit route data, that execs it. And now if we go to the flight plan page, we'll just make sure there's no discontinuities, which there are. So we'll just go ahead and drag that, put that there. Just keep looking through here. Grab that, put that there. And that looks good. Real quick, we'll just go ahead and double check and make sure everything looks okay. We can go up here and hit this plan button right here. And we'll go ahead and hit step. So let's make sure everything looks good. Looks good to me. All right. Now that that's all done, let's go over to the perf page, and we'll get this stuff set up for the VNAV and whatnot. So our fuel reserve will go with like 1,200 pounds. I think that's what they were saying. I go to the next page. Cruise altitude. This plane kind of climbs a little bit slow, so the test flight I did yesterday, I tried to go up to 32,000, but it just took forever, so I ended up cutting off at 28,000, so we'll go ahead and do that. Like that. And before we do anything, we will have to hit this confirm init button right here. That basically sets up the VNAV path for this plane, but we want to get all the fuel and stuff on here first so it knows what all of our weights are. So we'll switch this over to option 2. It is telling us today that we need about 9,200 pounds of fuel. So we can click on this to manually select it, and we'll make this 9,000, as close as we can get. 9,000, give ourselves a little bit of extra just in case. And we do have more than that, so we'll hit the defuel button. And then it's telling us our zero fuel weight today is going to be 61,500. So we can just try this and see if it. We'll go 60,000. That's fine. We can actually make it more if we want. There we go. That's fine. Okay, so that's all set up. Go ahead and jump back down here, and you should see now that our weights have switched. Now you can see 61,500 is our zero fuel weight, and it's got all of our fuel and stuff calculated. So we'll go ahead and hit the confirm init page. That's now calculated our VNAV. All right, I think that's pretty much it for. Oh wait, never mind. Just kidding. We got to go to the takeoff page. So we'll go back to this. We'll go to our takeoff page. We're going to go flaps 2 out of here. We got our V speeds. We can go to our thrust limits. We'll just keep it how it's supposed to be. I've noticed if you try to derate it, I'm telling you, this thing just climbs like, it climbs at like 180 knots. It just takes forever. So we're just going to leave it, see how that works, see if it changes anything. So that's fine. All right. I believe that's good for that. Let's jump back over here, and we'll set up the glare shield. So turn the flight directors on. And we'll see here. What else do we need to do? We set the altitude. We're going, like I said, 28,000 feet. So we'll go ahead and get that set up here. By the way, I am running ortho photos, or ortho scenery, ortho for XP. So that's you guys get to see that. Hopefully the weather's not too bad to actually get to see some scenery as well while we're up in the air. I know the weather's not really the greatest right now, so that will actually kind of be nice too to get some weather. I know I haven't really had any flights with extreme weather yet, so anyway, let's see. So that's set 280. And we need to get our speed set. So what we want to look at here is this 186 is what we're going to be setting our speed to. So we'll set that. Like I said, that's pretty much going to be our climb speed on the way out of here. It's pretty ridiculous, to be honest, but you know, once you get up, you know, to cruising altitude, then we'll get ourselves sped back up. But even if that going that slow, like, it's actually hit its times for what it says it is. Like, this says it's supposed to be an hour and 20-minute flight or whatever it is, and it's actually ended up being an hour and 20-minute flight. So apparently that's really how it climbs. So that's okay. So anyway, I believe we're actually pretty much ready to go. So we'll go ahead and start up the APU, let that get going. And you'll see that come down over here. Once that turns to 100%, we can kill the ground power unit, get rid of that, and then we'll get ready for pushback. All right, so the APU is online. So now what we can do is we'll go ahead and kill the ground power unit. And we'll pop over to this middle panel right here, go back to option 1, and we'll go ahead and disconnect it, like so. One thing I did forget to do is we need to set our trim. So we'll go to the takeoff page. Trim is 2.5, so we'll go back over here. Trim is right down in the right corner. I'll go ahead and set that to 2.5. That. And we'll get this set so it's on our navigation, so we know where we're going for that. And we need to set the altimeter as well. Altimeter in Chicago is 3030. So we'll go ahead and set that. All right. And I think we're ready for pushback. I think we're good. So what we'll do is we'll go over to this page right here, just so we can see how our engines fire up. We'll pop back over to this guy right here. Disengage the parking brake. We'll engage this guy. And as soon as that jetway's moved away, we'll start pushing back. We can't turn our nav or our beacon light now that we're moving. Go ahead and start going back. All right, let's go ahead and start up the engines while we're getting pushed back here. To do that, we just got to pop this guy open. Turn this on over to start. These things start up by themselves. You don't have to put any fuel or anything into it. They just kind of all automatically starts itself. All right, that's fine right there. We'll stop you. Pull the parking brake. All right. Oops, sorry about that. Let's just wait for this guy to finish booting up, then we'll go ahead and switch to the second engine. Which we're good now, so we'll go ahead and start number 1 now. Alrighty, both engines started up good, so we can go ahead and pop up here and we'll go ahead and shut down the APU. We'll go ahead and set our flaps to 2. And we'll go ahead and also throw on our taxi light. And with that, I think we're ready to get taxiing. Go ahead and throw this back on the map so we can see. Alrighty. All right. Everything looks clear, we look good. We'll go ahead and spool up to 40% or so. We'll just go ahead and go full takeoff. Takeoff power set.
80 knots. V1, VR, V2.
Positive rate. Gear up. Wait till we hit 1,000 feet, then we'll start making our right turn. Level ourselves back out a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and throw on autopilot with nav and VNav, and that should take over and should be good. We'll just keep an eye on it. This plane's been a little funky at first, I've noticed, so we'll kind of just keep an eye on it. We'll start pulling the flaps up a little bit. And we'll go up a little more, so all of them are retracted. Set our speed a little bit higher. 187 or whatever, it's 186. There it goes. Alright, well that was definitely more successful than I had my flight yesterday. It was interesting trying to figure out the whole autopilot and how it was working with its VNav, and it took me a little bit to figure it out, but it's definitely gone a lot smoother on this flight, so that's good. Get a nice view of the city, all the suburbs out there. Like I said, it is a little bit cloudy, so hopefully when we get up to 28,000 feet, it's not too cloudy up there. We can still see some scenery. Because again, I got ortho. I think this part might not be, just because I was trying to pick just the tiles that the flight plan was in. So there might be a couple little corners of the map where it doesn't fully show ortho, but other than that, it should be good. Anyway, all right. Well, it looks like the plane, like I said, it's taking care of itself pretty well. So I'm gonna let it do its thing, and I will catch up with you guys as we're getting ready to get into Minneapolis. Alright guys, welcome back. We're just about to get into Minneapolis here. It's just about dark here. Sunset's going right now, which is kind of nice. It should be for a nice little view. But we need to get the plane set up. So we're passing through 10,000 feet, so we'll go ahead and put the landing lights on. Just light up everything. And then there's a couple things we gotta prep as far as the plane goes, so we can get this thing down and set up for the landing. We need to come down here, and we need to go to our perf page and pick our VREF speed. We'll go flaps 5, so we'll just take that and punch that there. And then we also need to set up our frequencies for the ILS for runway 1 or for runway 12. So you just go in here, and we'll go ahead and type in, it is 110.70, put that there, switch it, and then we'll set up our course here. But we're also need to slow ourselves down a little bit. We're below 10,000 feet, so we need to get down below 250 knots. We'll actually go down to 220 because we're getting closer, or actually 210. We'll do a 210. So let that do its thing. We need to set the course, so what we can do is click on this guy right here, so we can get on VOR1. It's actually already set at 121. Maybe that might have stayed from the last time I flew, but so that's set up. So we're pretty much set up for the plane, or we're pretty much set up for our landing. You can see on our map here, we got one more turn, and then we'll kind of intercept the localizer, get set up for our final approach. The weather's still a little cloudy. We should be able to get below the cloud cover though. It's a good view though. I mean, the game's definitely starting to come together. I mean, again, I still haven't played X-Plane 11. I don't know if I will for a while. It's still in the beta mode, so there's only so much you can really do, and so many. I mean, you can't really even use any of the add-ons anyway in the game. So I feel like this game, at this point, you know, you can do way more with this game than you can with X-Plane 11, and it looks pretty dang good to me. So I'm just gonna stick with X-Plane 10 for now. There's still a couple more planes I gotta learn. The other ones I picked up besides this one was I did a video on the E-170 already. There's this one, and then I have the JAR Designs A320 as well as the CRJ 200. So one plane at a time. Like I said, this one I was able to kind of learn this one over this weekend. So that was my goal. Maybe next weekend I'll be able to take a look at the JAR, the CRJ. I'll probably look at the JAR. I tried to fly it once, it was just really complicated and I didn't really know what to do. So you know, it's just going to take some time to learn everything. Alright. Actually let's set out one flaps right now, because we only have to be past 230 to let out the first flap, so we'll go ahead and do that. We can actually let out 2 if you wanted to, technically, but I'll wait until we hit this turn, and I'm going to slow ourselves down to about 180, and then I'll start putting out more flaps. It's nasty out though. Can't see anything. Hopefully it clears up a little bit more as we start to get lower. There's the turn. We'll go ahead and get ourselves down now to 180 knots. We'll go ahead and drop another flaps as we do that. I was kind of hoping we can get a view of the city, but that's not really happening right now. There we go. Alright, and then as we get closer to the next waypoint, I'll arm the approach mode, and it should catch the glide slope and the localizer all by itself, and we'll be good to go. One more set of flaps while we're waiting for the final turn. Once we get established on the localizer, I'll go ahead and drop the gear, and then we'll get the last 2 set of flaps out. So if you guys haven't checked out the channel yet, be sure to go check it out. Got a bunch of X-Plane videos on there. So far I've got the Flight Factor 767, the Epic E-1000, the Freeware 737 800 series, and then obviously this plane as well. I'll also play some Train Simulator if you guys are into that kind of stuff. Play American Truck Simulator, GTA. I mean, there's plenty of games. There's more games I'm looking to get into as well. We're going to hit the approach mode now. So yeah, just keep an eye out. If you guys haven't checked it out, be sure to go check it out. It's I've definitely been getting some good feedback, which is awesome. It's really good to see. We're gonna get ourselves slowed down to 160. Anyway, yeah, I'm really appreciating the good feedback I'm getting from everybody. It's really nice to see, and just kind of motivates me to keep doing more for you guys. And it just makes it more fun. I mean, it's just kind of nice to know that there's actually people watching your videos on the other side of things. It's always tough when you're first starting out on YouTube to get viewers and stuff like that. So, you know, I just hit 50 subscribers today, so that's a good milestone. I mean, that's more than I thought I would get, at least this quickly. So I'm really excited. Just keep it coming, guys. Really keep the support going. I love it. Like, you guys are awesome, and I'll try to make videos as much as I possibly can. You know, I do have a day job that requires a lot of my time, but whenever I do have free time, I try to devote it to making more videos and stuff like that. So, anyway, let's see, our approach speed is 132, so we'll just go 140. Get ourselves slowed down. We'll go ahead and we'll drop the gear. I'm loving the photo scenery though. Like, honestly, it takes forever to make, but it's so worth it. Like, I mean, you can't beat that. Look at that. I mean, the clouds look great. The photo reel looks great. The lighting looks awesome. I mean, there's nothing that you can say that doesn't look good about this. Passing the city right there off the wing. I'll link the scenery in the description as well. This is a freeware airport, as well as one that we flew out of. If you guys haven't checked out the org store, be sure to check that out. Or not even the org store, just xplane.org. There's a lot of freeware stuff you can get. That's what's kind of nice about X-Plane, is that there's so much freeware stuff that you can get that, you know, I haven't even needed to go get any payware scenery at all. So other than planes, it's pretty much got you covered as far as you know, enhancements to the game, as far as like weather and stuff like that, and even, you know, scenery and textures and, you know, liveries to planes and whatever you need. I mean, the site's got pretty much anything you need, so be sure to check out that site. All right, we're looking pretty good here. Gears down, 3 green, flaps 5. We'll go ahead and put auto brakes to medium, and we'll kind of just let the plane do its thing, and we'll cut off the autopilot at the last second. Not too windy. Got a little bit of a headwind, which is good. That's what we want. But everything's looking good. We're runway's clear, and we will be landing. So. Alright, I'll go ahead and throw off the stuff now. Try to keep it steady, let it do its thing. Oh, get down, get down, get down. A little bit high, we'll be alright. We're getting windy.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Oh my. Alright, 80 knots. We'll go ahead and kill the reversers. Manual braking at this point. We'll turn off here. That was not a good landing. Not only did we float it, but we were all over the place. Oh man. Well, like I said, I've only flown this twice, so this is the second time. So just, I guess we still made it, which is a good thing. But Yeah, that wasn't the best landing. Alright, we'll go ahead and just park right in front of us. So we'll go ahead and turn the taxi light off as well, so we don't blind the dude. I probably should have cut off the autopilot a little bit sooner than that. Yeah, I mean, it seemed like everything was going well up until right about 100 feet, and then it started to go all crazy. Like maybe a gust of wind hit me or something. Oh well. It is what it is. Other than that, it was a pretty successful flight, I'd say. Autopilot worked a lot better than the last time. And, I mean, you couldn't beat the views. I mean, those are some nice views, so. There. Go ahead, hit the parking brake. APU is online, so we can go down here and kill the engines. Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, sorry about the crummy landing, but that's what happens when you're flying a new plane. But anyway, other than that, like I said, I thought it was a pretty good flight. I hope you enjoyed this kind of a first look at the SSG E-170. Hopefully if you're maybe having some issues with figuring out the plane, hopefully that might be able to help you out a little bit. And I'll definitely be looking into, looking in either the JAR or the CRJ 200 and getting that plane figured out so we can get another video out. Anyway, if you guys have any suggestions on like routes or anything, feel free to let me know. I do have a couple already that I've gotten from some other people that are on my list. But if you guys have any suggestions, again, just feel free to leave it in the comment section. If you guys like the video, be sure to leave a like. I really appreciate that. It lets me know that you guys are still liking the content. I can keep still making it and stuff like that. And then also, if you're a first-time viewer, or even if you're not and you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe. It just lets you know whenever I bring new content to the channel, mostly. So anyway guys, I appreciate you guys stopping by, and I will catch you with some more X-Plane soon. Take care.